morning, guys. As you can see by my shirt, Sweatfest is done. I took some time to cool off. I had to do a couple things on the computer for Alex's and my cruise, but it's not till February of next year. But I had some points I needed to redeem and get all of that situated, so by the time we're ready to book a few things for that cruise, we will have our onboard credits ready. But check out my shirt. How awesome is this shirt? Good morning, Mom. I got a few shirts from that fitness tea company. They were having a deal for their tank tops and stuff, and I love their tank tops for workouts. But so I wanted to talk about a specific topic, and the topic is, why do we do it? And it was something that I read in one of my devotionals. I have that, I think it's called like Your Bible app or whatever it is, and you can have different daily devotionals to read, real quick personal developments just to read through and get your mind thinking about some things. And one of the things I was reading about today, it was asking why we do it. Judgment was the topic. And it was asking, like, why do we do all this judgment? Why are we constantly judging other people? It's one thing to judge yourself on a regular basis, which we shouldn't do that either. But then judgment of others. Like, in my thought process, like, if you're seriously going to be judging other people, how can you? Because if you think about, like, do we really know everything about them? Good morning, Heather. So when we're putting judgment on other people, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what might be going on in their life. You don't know what's going on in their own head, their emotions, what they struggle with. So to pass judgment on somebody, I think, is a little harsh. Everybody does it. We all do it. We see someone and we judge a book by its cover. And if you think about it, all growing up, at least for me, is I was always taught, actions speak louder than words, and never judge a book by its cover, because you don't know. Like, there could be somebody that's living on the side of the street, a total bum, but yet they are so smart and they have such a high IQ, but maybe they just went through a really terrible time and could never crawl out of that dark hole. So we really can't judge a book by its cover. We really can't do judgment just by what we see. And even that also, like, you might have friends that you talk to and you pass judgment on them. And in my eyes, like, are we perfect? Are we so freaking perfect that we can pass judgment on other people? Because, and I've caught myself doing it, and then I have to snap myself out of it. Like, wait a minute, you're not the queen bee. You're not God. You're not perfect. You make mistakes. So it's really hard to pass judgment. Good morning, Amy. And this is something that me and Amy talk about a lot too. It's just like, we'll talk about something specific, whether it be about another person, about ourselves, whatever it is, judgment on ourselves, whatever it is. But then we always end up putting a positive spin on it. I'm trying to say, well, maybe it's because of this or maybe it's because of that. But judgment is such an ugly, hey, Amy, check out my shirt. Hee hee, I don't sweat. It's awesome sauce. So when we pass judgment on other people, I feel like maybe that's something that we don't like within ourselves. That's why we focus on that on other people, because it's something deep down inside and our subconscious is constantly thinking about within ourselves. So we're constantly looking for that in other people. Does that make sense? Give me some thumbs up and some hearts if that makes sense. Because I remember reading once a while ago how a lot of times when we see negative in other people, that's because that's the negative that we see within ourselves. And I think that's true. And I think I see the hearts coming across the screen now. So you guys you understand and you agree. So let me ask this question. Do we like when people judge us? We know when we're being judged by other people. Do we like it? Absolutely not. Because those people don't really know what we're going through. Those people have no clue what's going on. Like I briefly told you guys that I had some life stressors going on and I wasn't ready to share yet. I will probably share tomorrow about it, but I've been a little off lately. I know some of my friends can tell just through text message that I've been off. But now if they're judging me for that, they don't know what's going on with me. I just have something going on that's a little scary, a little nerve-wracking, and I'm just trying to deal with it. And I'm trying not to let it consume me. But if they pass judgment, shame on them, because they don't know what I'm going through. And that's something that we all, hey Brenda, that's something that we all have to remember, is we don't know what's going on behind closed doors at people's homes. We don't know emotionally what they're dealing with. We don't know physically what they're dealing with. Like I help a lot of people on this lifestyle journey that have fibromyalgia and lupus and things like that, to where they're struggling. It's painful. But not everybody knows that that's what they're going through and that's what they're struggling with. I'm sure they get judgment of, oh, why can't you just exercise? Because they're in pain. So that's what I mean. We can't just pass judgment on people. We have no idea what's going on in their life. And who are we to pass judgment? And this isn't coming from a personal place where I think someone's judging me right now. I mean, I've definitely been under that microscope one too many times of judgment, and I've learned to not care what people think. Judge me all you want, because if you're focusing on me and you're trying to pick me apart, that's because you're not happy within yourself. And that's the mindset and the thought process I have when I know people are judging me. I had somebody in my family that is no longer in my life that judged me on a regular basis, and I know her judgment came specifically from jealousy and vindictiveness, and because that's the things she didn't like about herself, so she was trying to find those things within me. That's on her, not me. And when we're being judged by other people, that's the mindset that we have to take. Hey Demi, how are you? So that's the mindset that we have to take. But oops, I turned my camera around on you guys on Instagram, sorry. But we also have to be mindful of how we're judging other people. You know, if you're walking through a supermarket, I am a total people watcher. I could just sit in a shopping mall and just watch people walk by. I love to see different walks of life. I love to see different people. I love to see happiness on their faces. It makes me sad when I see sadness on their faces. I am such a people watcher. I don't know if I'm the only one. If I'm not, let me see some hearts. If you guys are people watchers too. Hey Terry, good morning. So I'm a big people watcher. And I always try to like sit there and figure out their life or figure out if they're happy or whatever, just by looking at their face. But I'm not passing judgment. But are there times that you're sitting and you're watching people? My mom's a people watcher too. I just saw her heart go across the screen. Are there times when you're sitting and watching people and you start to pass judgment? Like maybe you see somebody that's a little overweight, and you're like, God, she just needs to do something, or he just needs to do something. And right away, you're like passing judgment on that person. Shame on us for that. Maybe they are doing something. Maybe they've already lost 100 pounds and they're still on their journey. Right? We don't know that. So instead of passing that negative judgment, maybe pass a positive judgment of, you know, maybe she's on her journey and she's really killing it, and she's confident right now. If you're going to pass judgment, make it a positive thing. Don't always make it so negative. So we just have to be very mindful of what we're passing on and the judgment that we're passing on. Because when we're passing judgment on people, we're putting that negative out into that universe. And that's not something we want. We don't want that negative out there, because that negative is going to come back twofold and smack us in the face. Put that positive out there. Be a good person. Don't pass judgment. Even if you know someone's story, you still shouldn't judge them for it. Everybody's life is different, and everybody deals with what's going on in their life in a different manner. So if you have the time to pass judgment on someone that is going through a hard time, you should really turn that around and lend out a hand and help them. Hold them up if they can't hold themselves up. Help them get through that journey by just being someone that they can lean on, or an ear that they can talk to, or a shoulder that they can cry on. Instead of taking all that time of passing negative judgment, how about you take the time and you lift someone up? Just a thought. You know, I used to pass a lot of judgment on people, and I've tried to turn that around by being there for them and helping them, because there were many times that I was in need and people were judging me instead of lending out a helping hand. And it is not a good feeling. It makes you feel alone, afraid, and downright depressed. So if you truly care for someone and you see them going through something, help them not feel that way. Help them not feel that way. So I have a call to action today. Good morning, Nicole. I have a call to action today for us. Let's stop passing that judgment. Let's take time to just if the judgment is something they're doing to you, that's one thing. But instead of the judgment, maybe that's happening to you because they're not supposed to be someone that's in your life. And maybe that person just needs to be a bye, Felicia. Right? So let's reflect. Let's not pass judgment. And if we're passing judgment because someone's going through a hard time, let's try to turn that judgment into a helping hand and let's lift that person up. And let's try to make this world a little bit of a better place, because right now it's not the best. There's so many negative things and so many bad things happening all the time in this world. It's scary. It's scary to be raising the next generation, because this world has gone to poop. It's gone to crap. So let's start taking these small steps to make it just a little bit better. For some reason, people think that, they're God's gift and they can do all this judgment. And I have to tell you, those people need to look in the mirror and wake the hell up, because they are just a person like everybody else. So we can start by making some changes with judging. Don't judge someone. You don't know what's going on. You might not agree with what they're doing, and you might not want to be a part of it. But don't judge them for it because of the decisions that they made. They're obviously struggling. So guys, I want you to have a terrific Thursday. I will see how I feel about sharing tomorrow. I probably will share with you guys. It's not going to be easy to share with you guys, but I most likely will, because I share everything because I'm hoping that the mess I'm going through can be a message to help somebody else. And that's why I share everything with you guys. So I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. I am going to go get Ryan's breakfast going, clean up my kitchen a little bit, and get him to school so I can get my work going, because my girl Natalie's coming over today and we're going to have some chill time in the backyard. We're going to do some planning for our team. Me and her have partnered up, and we're going to be partners in growing our Get Fit crew. So we're going to do some brainstorming and stuff like that this morning. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you later. Bye, guys.